Hey, happy Wednesday, everyone. I wanted to jump on today and just talk about a few things. Basically, why restrictive eating doesn't work or why we think it does, and what the hell is in our foods. So, if you're asking yourself or struggling at the moment with regards to nutrition, and you are on some sort of restrictive diet, for example, vegan or paleo or fasting or any sort of diet that eliminates certain food groups, or has cut out specific things. So basically, why they don't work? Why do these diets not see the test of time? Why are they not sustainable? It's because they are restrictive. Cutting out whole food groups, one, is not healthy, and two, it's like that you're deprived. It's like that deprivation mindset. It's like Carl Barron does it in his things. It's like don't eat the biscuit, and he's like, eat the biscuit, eat the biscuit. So when someone says, or if your nutrition plan says don't eat the carbs, you're like, carbs. So it messes with us. And I actually put out a post this morning, and I can't even remember what it's going to say now, but it said like, carbs aren't bad, like refined, highly processed carbs are bad, fats aren't bad, like highly processed vegetable fats are bad. Meat isn't bad. It's the quality of the meat that's bad. So, people go, the reason why I can't lose weight is because of all this white bread I'm eating. And it might be that you are eating a lot of white bread, but it probably comes down to like a combination of all the other things that are impacting on your diet as well. But we're really quick to blame the bread. But don't go there just yet. So they're not sustainable. They lead to deprivation. They lead to yo-yoing. And yo-yoing is not good for our metabolism, because it's kind of like we set our baseline. When we yo-yo diet, so we lose weight and then we gain it again. And then it's harder to get back down there, and then we put it on again. And then it's harder to get back down there. So we're just making it harder and harder for ourselves to get to, I guess, homeostasis, or that point where we're neutral with our weight. We're cutting a heap of micronutrients as well. So when we go really low carb, like, carbs have their place and fats have their place. Hormone production, performance, recovery, building cell tissues and DNA repair, like, quality sleep. Like, we need these macronutrients, but all the micronutrients that come with it as well play an essential role in. Don't touch the hot pot. What does that mean tomorrow? I only just saw that. Are you looking at my scar? I don't know. So yeah, that's the reason why they don't work. But why do we think restrictive diets work? Well, when we cut out, like, carbs is a really popular thing to cut out of the diet. So when we cut out carbs, 1 gram of carbohydrate stores 3 to 4 grams of water. So when you lose weight, when you start your diet, a lot of it is water weight, and you think, this is really working. But you're just losing a shit ton of water because you've dropped all those carbs. And then what happens is, when you start eating carbs again, then you're starting to retain a lot more water because of the carbs, the water that's in carbs. And then you start to gain weight, and then blame and then blame the carbs again. It's because my body doesn't like carbs. No, it's just because you're eating them in excess. And then because of those excess carbs, you're retaining so much more water. So as soon as you start to drop those carbs, you start to drop water retention. So that is like the main reason why we think restrictive diets work, is because of that initial water loss, and we think it's fat loss. So the solution is drop the rules. You don't have to cut out. The only thing I recommend to cut out or reduce is alcohol and, refined sugar or packet food, which is basically where I'm leading to, is just eat from the earth. Instead of saying cut out this, cut out that, the framework that I use with my nutrition clients is to eat from the earth and the rest will naturally fall away. If you are eating lean sources of protein and your avocados and oils and seeds and nuts, and you're eating your rice and quinoa and sweet potato and all these sorts of yummy, nutritious macronutrients that are from the earth, then all the rest of the stuff that is not ideal or nourishing your body will naturally start to fall away. Your palate will start to change as well, because you're not eating that refined, chemical-laden shitstorm of what is processed food. Which then leads me to what is actually in our foods. So a chapter in my book is completely dedicated to this. It's called What is Actually in Our Foods. So I will read out just quickly what is in a really global best-selling milk chocolate. So there's sugar, chocolate, skim milk, cacao, cocoa butter, lactose, milk fat, soy lecithin, salt, artificial flavour, cornstarch, less than 1% corn syrup, dextrin, colouring, which includes blue 1 lake, yellow 6, red 40, yellow 5, blue 2 lake, yellow 6 lake, blue 2, gum, and whatever that other name is I can't pronounce. So what actually happened to like a bit of cacao with some coconut oil, and some cinnamon, like all melted together? We have strayed so far from, and I'll go out on a tangent here. I could go for the next 10 or 15 minutes just on this subject, but how far we've strayed to what our bodies actually know. So if we start eating from the earth, we're automatically cutting out all this shit that is going into our bodies, not to mention the packaging that it comes in, which, one, plastic leaching is a real thing, and when things sit in plastic for a long time, they start to collect the chemicals that it's packaged in. Not only that packaging has to go somewhere, and most likely it's going to go into the ocean. Again, another topic altogether, which I have numerous chapters on. But when we start to eat from the earth, we start to get rid of this stuff that is affecting our body. And when we're eating this stuff, our body doesn't know what this is. And that's when we can start to experience lots of symptoms and disease in the body, because we're eating stuff that our body just does not know how to process. And no wonder it is acting up the way it does with regards to all the mental health issues and fertility issues and respiratory issues and skin issues and all these sorts of stuff, because we need to peel it back. We need to start being more simplistic when it comes to nutrition, dropping the food rules, and eating from the earth. That is my best advice that I can possibly give. And I know that sometimes it's easier said than done, because when you can walk into the kitchen, it's like, fuck, everything's in packaging right now. Where do I start? Where you start is around the outside of the supermarket, or go to a farmer's market. I'm in the process of boycotting Woolworths, because Woolworths and Coles also have the highest amount of stock in poker machines and coal mining and things that are just degrading the planet and the economy right now. But that's another story in itself as well. But if you're sticking around the outside aisles of the supermarkets, then what are you doing? You're going to the fresh fruit and veggie section and kind of those nuts and all that on that. And then you've got the lean meats and the seafood. And then you've got all the frozen section as well, where you can get your frozen veggies. And then you want to avoid the aisles as much as possible. I get a lot of my aisle stuff now from Source Bulk Food. So your rice, your quinoa, your dried fruits, your nuts, your seeds, all of that sort of stuff. Yes, it takes extra effort, but my body's worth it. And so is my family. And I'm voting with my dollar when I go to places like Source Bulk Foods, or I go to the farmer's market and support local people. I'm not voting for Woolworths and Coles and those big corporations that are also doing a lot of bad in the world. Again, another topic for another day. But yeah, let's recap. Cutting out food groups. It's restrictive, it's deprivation, it's yo-yoing, it's missing out on vital micronutrients, and it's a lot of water weight. So what do? We want to drop the rules, eat with our, go with our hunger and go with our thirst, and eating from the earth. So, slowly minimizing the amount of packaged food that we consume, and drinks as well. Our main drink you want it to be water, and coffee. So keeping your coffee black as well is another one. Oh, and coffee is the most heavily sprayed crop in the world. So if you're going to go organic in anything and you drink a lot of coffee, start there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my little, well, it was supposed to be a gentle musing today, but I guess it kind of went into a bit of a rant. But as you can see, I'm extremely passionate about all of these subjects that I've just touched on today. But the biggest takeaway is drop the rules and eat from the earth. As simple as that, and you will start seeing massive improvements, not just to your weight loss, but to your mental clarity, and the way you go about your day. Truly. All right, I hope you all have an awesome day, and you'll see my face again soon.